Well, you may have noticed winter is getting shorter and shorter. The result in spring coming earlier and earlier. For example, last month was the 9th warmest January on record and set multiple high temperature records.
As a result, fruit trees that historically have done well in our region aren't producing as well as favorable locations begin to shift. Meteorologist Jacob Wyckoff joining us. And Jacob, winter incredibly important for the health of fruit trees, which you don't always think about.
Right, you would think like spring and summer, but it really is a 4-season job. And as the seasons change, so does the type of fruit that thrives in Western Mass.
The warming climate is an increasing problem for agriculture. Even in a good year, one without torrential rains or harsh droughts or even extreme temperature swings, the rising temperatures are making it harder to grow fruit. Apex Orchards, perched on a hill in Shelburne, has constantly been adapting to stay ahead of the changes.
Grew up on this farm. This farm has been in the family since 1828. So, you know, this was what I knew growing up. It's just changed tremendously even since when I was a kid. We would always expect a killing frost by early to mid-September, and now it's certainly a month later at least.
While apples have been a main crop since taking over the farm, Smith has slowly been increasing the peach production.
Peaches are a main crop for us now. The reason for that is before we were having cold enough winters that we would lose the flower buds. On peaches, if the temperature goes below 10 below Fahrenheit, then we lose the crop. We haven't been below 10 below up here on the hill for a number of years now.
The decrease in winter cold effectively makes winter shorter. The coldest temperatures each winter are slowly getting warmer. For Springfield, a nearly 5-degree increase in the last 50 years. So not only is Western Mass less cold, but it's less cold less often. In the last 50 years, consecutive winter days below normal have decreased. This lack of cold is why peach crops have thrived.
2 years out of 5, it would get to 10 or 15 below and we'd lose the crop.
And so now what sort of ratio are you at?
We've had 1 crop loss in the last 15 years, so it's quite a change.
People don't realize, but apple trees and peach trees need a certain amount of, we call it chilling hours. And that's when the temperature is between roughly 32 and 45 degrees.
Temperatures colder than 32 degrees provide little additional rest, while temperatures above 60 degrees, like we had back in January, reverse any chilling that happened in the previous day or two. John Clements, an extension educator at UMass Cold Spring Orchard in Belchertown, explains.
It takes them a while to get to that point of rest, and that also prevents them from starting to grow when we have sudden temperature extremes in the winter. For example, like when it gets 70 degrees for a couple days.
Apples need anywhere between 800 and 1100 chilling hours for spring growth. Peaches, on the other hand, only need between 400 and 800 chilling hours. You can see why the decrease in cold is more conducive to peach growth.
If it does get warm in the winter, that can wake them up a little tiny bit, not very much though, and it can reduce their hardiness. What we really don't like to see is very warm temperatures followed by very cold temperatures, because that can cause some damage.
Smith is optimistic his orchard will continue well into the future.
I'm sure that at some point in time we'll probably have to change and drop some varieties that are made for colder weather that we probably cannot grow as well anymore because of the warming of the climate.
And Apex Orchards tell me the last time that they lost an apple crop due to a freeze-out was all the way back in 1941. In the studio, meteorologist Jacob Wyckoff.